Good morning.
Hey, welcome back. Welcome, everybody, to Quarantine on Fire. Chef Olive's in the Kitchen on Fire kitchen over on California.
I'm in the kitchen on fire.
I'm at home, which is not on fire, thankfully. I don't live in the hills.
You did have an internet issue this morning, though.
I did have an internet issue this morning.
That's not good.
My little Wi-Fi port seems to be shot, so I'm doing it old school today.
Everything is good.
I had some regular customers yesterday at Cesars that said they were asked to do a voluntary evacuation from their homes because they live up in the hills. They were having those tremendous winds last night.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
So
crazy.
So anyway, it doesn't sound like there were any fires, thankfully. So the winds were tremendous. God, you could hear it. It was crashing the windows. I'm pretty sure I saw a cow go by the window. It may have been a dream, but I'm pretty sure it was real.
Did you have your eyes open or closed? This is what you have to test.
And I saw a witch on a bicycle riding by too. That was really scary.
Filet.
Frode, hey.
Back. So he didn't drown.
Good.
Remember we thought he drowned. Maybe he's like in the bottom
right.
No, I guess not.
Good.
Those Vikings, man, they can.
I'm glad to hear that.
They can make it, huh?
So we do not have a guest today, but we have a lot of questions.
James, what do you mean? We have two guests.
Oh, right. You're my guest. I'm your guest.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we have two guests instead of one today.
Well, ask me anything you want to know. This is something we haven't done in a while because we've been just frankly too busy with our guests and other things, but we usually answer questions that come to us from former students at Kitchen on Fire who fill out a questionnaire when they finish a course. And there's always a space for, ask the chef, so they can ask anything. And it's funny because a lot of the questions are the same. I mean, there's some very good questions. There's some very silly questions. And then there's just these recurring questions. And one of the ones, and I thought we'd talk about this just a little bit. We talked about they want to know our backgrounds. How did we get started? Like, why do you cook? Why did you get into cooking? And the other one that I swear it's like every other question is, what's your favorite restaurant?
Oh, yeah.
Now, and also obviously that was asked pre-COVID because the choice of restaurants today is very limited.
I mean, plus people want to help everybody, which is a good thing. So there's no...
Right.
And we have a cooking demo today. I'm going to show you how to do something cool today, actually. Very easy, very cool. It is the cookie that we made at Cesars, and that's part of the cookbook. And that's the cookie we made like for years and years and years. It's a really amazing cookie, and we're going to make it with lard.
Lard.
So not vegan.
Wow. Well, as long as you're not using pig fat, that's fine.
Right. So I do vegan food, but not today. Today we're going to do lard, and the reason why I like lard is actually really, really good. It's good for you. It's healthy. So I would not do something that is not healthy ever. So if it's healthy, it goes into my...
The pig was probably vegan.
It is vegan.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe not. Pigs eat everything, like any animal. They eat whatever's available, right? Unless
I had a woman in Cesars one night. She wanted to know if we had any vegan dishes, and I said, "Well, I'm pretty sure the lamb was vegan." Yeah. She didn't think that was funny.
You don't have any vegan. Huh? You don't have any vegan dishes, right? It's difficult. Yeah, it's too small of a menu.
Well, yeah. I mean, we use olive oil, so a lot of the dishes that don't have meat could be considered vegan. I don't know.
Right.
But
okay. Anyway, so it's not the subject today. Well, so we
No.
And again, we do vegan dessert. And I'm going to do a vegan dessert next time. Really good. I have a great dessert that we made in south of France that's vegan just because it was not planned to be, but it's really good. It's with olive oil. It's really excellent. Olive oil cake, really fun. We'll do that next time.
So assuming that the pandemic ends one day and life goes back to some semblance of normalcy, I don't necessarily have a favorite restaurant, but what do you look for in a restaurant? What kind of restaurants do you like to go to?
So James, why don't we I want to do the cookie because they have to cook.
Oh, okay.
Why don't I do that?
Start
because,
that and then we'll talk.
You know what? Because they don't have to cook for a long time, but yeah. Let's do it now.
Go ahead and start those, and then we can talk.
It won't be very long. I'm going to do an anise cookie. This is really awesome, and this is the recipe. Actually, I'm going to show you the recipe, people. Where is it? Where is it?
Where is it? I don't have it. There it is.
If you guys want to, this is really good. Okay, and I'm going to start. And you can see the lard. What can we replace the lard with? I think butter, right?
You can do butter. It's going to be a totally different cookie.
I know, but it does work with butter.
I would rather use butter than vegetable shortening.
Oh, vegetable shortening, right.
I mean, that's what most people substitute lard
But it's
with.
not very good stuff.
Well, they're making vegetable shortenings differently nowadays. You can get some that aren't hydrogenated and aren't really awful for you, but it's still overly processed.
Okay, so basically those almond cookies are really cute, and the recipes are over there, and I'm going to show you how to do that. It's going to be really cool. Where are you, chef?
Hey, size doesn't matter. Just remember that.
Not true. Yeah, she keeps saying that to make me feel good, but
coconut. Is Frode calling us a coconut? You're a coconut.
No, I think he has a headache.
Is he saying coconut could substitute for lard? Coconut oil?
Oh, coconut oil. Yes, coconut oil works. It doesn't really, it's not the same. I love coconut oil, by the way, but it doesn't do the same thing. It doesn't bind as much. Mm-hmm. But coconut oil would work. I would say olive oil, but the same. It's gonna lard. That's what I'm doing, and I'm gonna talk about it. Okay, let's talk about lard. This is so I got this.
Oh yeah, I know that company.
Really?
Talk to them. Yeah.
So people understand. This is really expensive. This is not. This is way more expensive than anything. This was about $19 a pound. Or maybe 22. So it's not cheap product. It's a very excellent product. It's just not cheap, okay? Because it's well done and it's a absolutely super product. The cookie is pretty easy. I got some anise.
Let me ask you a question real quick.
Yes,
I
sir.
have a jar of bacon fat in my fridge that I save when I cook bacon.
Yep.
Could you use that? I mean, because I know the lard that you have there has probably been rendered down from other cuts of pork.
Yeah, you can use your bacon fat. I think it's the same. I'm not sure though. I would have to actually find out.
It might taste a little different.
Yeah.
Because bacon is typically smoked, so there's going to be a little flavor in it.
But anyway, all right. So guys, what's going to happen is this. It's a pretty easy dessert. I'm going to toast the flour quickly on my stove here. I put some cinnamon in there already, but I'm going to toast it with I'm going to use a non-stick pan just for fun.
Okay.
Just so it goes faster. I have my oven preheated at 300 degrees. And we're going to move over there, you guys, on my stove over here, right here. And I'm going to toast my flour. That's what I have to do. So I already put the cinnamon, because I don't want to forget, and my salt. And toasting means just a little color. Okay? So, and that's going to give you a lot of flavor. And you see the brown stuff is my cinnamon. Don't worry about this. But what's happening is you're going to start to, that's going to start to smell really good.
And a good way to think of it is when you toast bread, you start off with bread, and then when you toast it, it gets that wonderful aroma, flavor. And that's
Oh yeah,
kind of what you're doing here.
you're toasting bread. You toast what? What do you mean you toast bread?
I'm saying that it's similar to when you toast bread.
Right.
You take it in, you add all this flavor and aroma to it. Now, of course, bread has already been baked, whereas this flour is raw.
Oh, yeah. So here,
Same
it's
idea.
like, you notice also in a lot of Indian restaurants from India, they toast the flour or their spices, and they toast their flour before they start.
Right.
Right? It gives you that deep flavor. You really don't want to burn it though, so you have to be careful with that.
Yeah.
Okay. So you want to get that about 5 minutes.
And unlike making toast, you don't want to put this in your toaster because it would be a mess.
Which one?
What you're doing right now, you wouldn't want to do this in a toaster. It would be a mess.
Yeah, right.
I don't know how you'd get it out.
Oh my God. You have to wet it first. So what's happening now is getting a nice color, really pretty color. Smells really good. So I'm gonna keep going like this. You see I'm moving a lot, right? Because otherwise it will not like it.
Yeah, you do not want to burn it. If you burn it, you'd pretty much have to throw it out and start over.
Oh yeah. Just like oil, you know, when you burn your oil, when you cook, you need to do it.
Yeah.
So you have to smell it. You have to smell it. Okay. I don't know. You can't look at it. You have to smell it. Okay. Now it's good. It smells nutty. So it smells nutty means that the flavors are going to be awesome. All I need to do now is pretty easy. Put it all together in a bowl. So I'm going to remove that. I'm going to show you what, and you have the recipe. We're done with the recipe. I'm going to remove the recipe, and that's it. Your punishment now. That's it.
All right.
Okay. Let's just assemble. Really easy. So let's go. Okay. My flour is toasted. I literally put everything together now. Okay. You see, little brown, beautiful stuff. Wow, that smells good. Okay, so this is a deep flavor. That's why those cookies are going to be really, really flavorful. They have a very deep flavor, and that's from that toasting what happened. Okay. Now my lard, this is my almond, my flour, my sugar in there. Salt is already in there. And I'm going to get a wooden spoon. This is very cool when you bake. Okay. My egg. Boom. Lard. Whoa, look at this lard. Oh my God.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah. And this one I found, this one was a little cheaper. Just so you know, so you guys, if you are a little bit worried about the price, I went to, this one is from, you know, the Mexican store on San Pablo, chef.
Yeah. Rancheria, mi Rancheria or something.
Yeah, anyway. What's the name?
It's right below University. Yeah, I know.
It's right next to you know, the Spanish really cool tapas. La Marcha.
Yeah.
So it's called, it's a Mexican
La Tienda, maybe?
Yeah, and they sell a lot of cool stuff. And look how that dough is getting together. And you see, I'm not going crazy at it. This is it. This is it. This is my cookie dough. Really easy.
Nice. Do you mean the Mexican market or the Spanish market?
Mexican.
Oh, yeah.
It has the name. Oh, my God. Can you find it? No. It's called... I buy a lot of... Oh, actually, that might be written here. No. Mi Tierra. Oh, my God.
Mi Tierra.
All right, that's it. Pretty cool, huh? Now the
Yeah.
shaping, that's important. How to shape them. My oven is ready at 300 degrees. I'm going to show you how to shape them because that's kind of the tricky one. Now you see they're very soft and wet. That's fine. That's okay. Okay. I can deal with that. Little soft. And the best way to do is to grab a portion scooper. So chef, I'm going to go get a portion scooper I forgot to get. But a portion scooper is great because it gives you all the same side, right?
Yeah, we actually have several sizes of those for doing different things. They're great for doing all kinds of stuff, meatballs but especially
meatballs, absolutely. And now I'm going to shape them, and to shape them, what I need is get one of those, and I'm going to shape it as an almond shape. So that means yes, mitiera.
No, not tiara.
Oh, Jessica, I'm going to put the recipe. Okay. Fine. No need to yell.
Was she yelling? How can you tell?
And you see that shape? Like an almond. Okay, those are big cookies. Huh? You can do like way smaller. Those are huge. But I could not find my small guy.
Can you just dump it out and make one huge cookie?
Yeah.
You could do that. It would be probably different baking time.
That would be for your birthday.
Yeah. You'd have to make a big one to get enough candles on it.
Oh, yeah. Don't they do discount of 100 candle?
Yeah.
So you see the idea about the shape, right? It doesn't matter what shape, but this is the almond because in there I want to put a little.
Oh, I thought you were trying to make them look like lips.
No, almonds.
Ah.
So there's a pointy part here and a round part here. Pointy. You see?
Mm-hmm.
Now, can you tell them what lard is so they don't get too confused? Lard is
rendered fat from a pig. So what they do is they cook the meat down, they cut the fat off, they cook it very, very slowly, and it cooks down into a liquid. And then you basically just strain it until you just have pure fat. And it's a really healthy fat. It's got similar properties to olive oil.
Yep. You know why though?
It's got a really bad rap, but it's actually very healthy and it's delicious.
You know why, chef? Because half of it is monounsaturated fat.
That's
so literally it's exactly like olive oil.
That's right.
So it's really good stuff. And also, anyway, if you're not a vegan, this is excellent food. Excellent food. It's super healthy. Okay.
Yeah, and
that's it. So you keep going like this, and you guys, and Jessica, if you need the recipe, I'll post it. I can put it onto somewhere. I'll send it to you or something. Very easy. Maybe I'll do a blog post. How about that? We'll do a blog post with it. There you go.
There you go.
Okay, awesome.
So you're putting, are those walnuts or pecans?
Pecans.
I love pecans.
And those, you guys, when you look at the recipe, you see it says 300 degrees. So every time you see 300 degrees anywhere, that means that thing is going to dry up. That's what it means. You know what I mean? It's good. So you're not going to see some brown stuff. It's going to be pretty cool, but it's a drying. So those cookies are really amazing. We used to make them I remember we used to make them at Cesars. They go like crazy. And they crumble. They really like a shortbread. They're really amazing. And because I put a lot of fat in there, it's way healthier for you because you eat less sugar at the end. So this is my thing. Right?
Yeah, and you know what? Cookies are a treat. People that worry too much about sugar, I think, of course you don't want to eat a lot of sugar, but when you're having a cookie, have a cookie. Yeah. It's a treat. It's not really food. It's not It's not what you're living on.
And now, for example, in my opinion, people, in my opinion, treats are great anywhere in between meals. Like they're really good.
They make you feel good.
Once you go into like the meals or after the meals or stuff, I don't think that's a good idea. That's personal. I think. Oh yeah,
So
duck.
Michael
Can
wants
we-
to know if we can substitute duck
Yes.
for pork
Except-
fat. Sure,
Yes,
why not?
except that's beautiful. Duck is even more expensive though.
It's more expensive, and it's probably got a certain difference in flavor too. So it's going
That's
to
what I was going
affect
to
the
say.
outcome.
It has a different flavor, but it's super healthy. The idea about something to eat, anything, is you want them to be healthy. You want food to be healthy. You don't want to eat crappy food. And that's the only reason why I'm doing a cookie today, by the way, guys. With Lisa, we were talking, and we don't really like sugar, right? We work with cancer and stuff like that. But today I was talking to Lisa, and a lot of people, they want sweet. So we need to make a series of sweet stuff that are going to be super healthy for you guys. And I'm going to start very soon. But really, I want you to enjoy something really good like this. This is really a good product, right? I'm going to go in the oven, and this is all quality stuff. So it's never a big deal. But when you have stuff that you don't know where it's from, or really poor flour or stuff like that, it's not a good idea.
Well, and then of course the problem is too, if you bake a batch of really healthy cookies and you eat the entire batch, it's probably not a good thing. So you have to have a little bit of self-control.
You do? Wow.
Yeah, something that I've never had a lot of.
I know. So. I'm like, where do you find this? Where do you get that? All right, beautiful. Well, great, guys, that's it. So it's pretty easy. You saw that. I mean, oh shit, I forgot my anise.
Oh, that's all right.
Nope.
You shouldn't have told us, because no one would have known, because we're not going to taste them anyway. We never would have known.
That's fine. So they saw it. We don't have to show them anyway. That's good. I'm just going to fix them. All right. So what's the question you had, Chef? You had a bunch of questions for us.
Had a bunch of questions. We were talking about restaurants, and what do you look for in a restaurant? What's your favorite kind of restaurant? Not necessarily your favorite restaurant, because who knows how many restaurants are going to still exist when this whole thing is over. Our favorites might be gone. Hopefully not. And
I tell you something though. One thing that I did a lot of consulting in my years, and it's the same question. What am I looking for in a restaurant? Restaurant is a concept. I knew a lot of people, they open restaurant, chefs open restaurant. They're excited. They have their thing in their mind. They want to open that thing. They do whatever. And they do all the food, and they don't care about the dining room, for example. Well, no, you can't do that.
Yeah,
the restaurant is a concept. It's a whole concept. From the moment you come in, everything from the moment to leave. Another example that's very important, coffee. If the coffee is crappy, you leave with a bad note.
Right.
I mean, coffee is like the last thing you leave with. And you need to give them the best. Remember that when you leave the restaurant, you leave a lot of time on the last note. And if the last note is not great, the whole experience is going to be skewed, right?
Right.
So you have
that also has to do with whoever's the host of the restaurant.
And
because that person is the first thing you encounter and the last.
Right. And, well, sometimes not the last though. The host, you don't,
Well, you walk past, there's usually somebody to say, thank you, good night, thanks for coming.
Right.
I mean, let's face it, restaurants are partially about theater. It's about entertainment. Because you don't have to go to a restaurant to eat. It's more expensive than eating at home, usually. So you go because, sometimes you just go to a restaurant because you don't feel like cooking. So you say, I'm just going to go, or maybe it's late. It's 7:00. I'm hungry. I don't want to start cooking. Let me just go out and get something to eat.
And that's fine. But I would say, Chef, James, restaurant is everything. You come in, it smells good. Bathrooms are clean. The floor is clean. The people don't look like they are dirty on their clothes. Their clothes is clean. They look, clipped on. There's a lot of things that the owner has to watch. Everything, the fingers, and then the food. The food has to be really good, but not just the food. Who brings the food has to be nice. It's like the whole thing.
Right.
Just the food is not enough. It is not enough. That's for sure.
No.
Right.
No. And I also like to get things at a restaurant that I don't necessarily either want to do myself, or maybe I don't do well myself. So like going out for Thai food, for example, Chinese food. It's some people are really good at it, and some people aren't.
So what do I like in the Bay? So I like. So I'm going to give you a list of restaurants. That doesn't mean it's all. That's it. But those are the restaurants I used to hang out with in, and I really like Corso, of course. Corso was a really cool place I used to hang out, especially when my friend Michael was chef. I mean, I knew all the chefs, but.
I think Corso's gone.
Is it really?
Yeah, I think Rivoli too. I think Rivoli and Corso are both closing for good.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Isn't that sad? We used to go to. We haven't been there in a while, but we used to go to Rivoli every so often. And
I used to go to Rivoli regularly a long time ago.
I loved sitting in the back with the big.
Then I like Comal. I really like Comal. I think it's a really fantastic place to go have a drink and hang out. Oh my God, there's a huge patio. So I don't know if they're open. I mean, nobody is really open, right? But when they now we have a regulation for open to 25%. Not me, because I can't do it. I'm a cooking school, so I can't have that. But restaurants that open at 25% will lose money, more money than if they stay closed. So I don't know if people realize that, but 25%, no, don't open.
Yeah. You're better off.
You're gonna lose your restaurant faster.
Yeah.
So stay closed.
As soon as you start doing a 25% capacity, that means you have to have more people working. You have to have a bigger kitchen crew.
You guys don't get it.
You have to have dishwashers. You have to have all that stuff that you're not going to make it back on a 25% full restaurant.
And when you look at like the restaurant, the people that are opening, I mean, we know a lot of people, of course, we're in the same business. They are suffering even more. So the headache to open that restaurant with the new protocol is insane. So for example, for us, there's no way we can do it for the next few months. I mean, there's no way, because we got the protocol for the CDC, to reopen. Mm-hmm. And that's going to take about half an hour more per chef already, which we pay them a lot of money. So I've already an hour lost just by filling up paperwork and cleaning your shoes and cleaning your stuff.
Right.
I need more people to work because I need those surfaces to be extra clean, which we don't do that normally. We clean normally, we clean just like your kitchen. You clean your kitchen, you're not gonna. And now it's a completely different thing. So for us, it's financially not possible to reopen today.
Right.
We have to wait until it's like open. We can't do 25%. We can't 50%. We may consider.
Well, I mean, you think about it. If there's a restaurant in your community that is always about 25% full, and every time you go by there's only a quarter of the tables are full.
Yeah.
They're probably not going to be there very long for just the reasons we said. You just can't afford to do that.
So that's my thing. So
you made another batch. Good. Now you have twice as many.
I know, right? So what else do we like? I like this restaurant on 4th Street, Zut.
Yeah, we used to go to Zoot, sit at the bar.
It's fun. I like it because, again, it's not just for the food. I mean, the food is okay. I mean, it's good. It's good. It's not like, but it's the ambiance. You're outside. It's pretty, So that's why I like those places. I'm not looking for the food particularly. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I am. But a lot of time I just want to hang out and.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's why we've always loved. That's the same reason we love Chez Panisse. Is because it's a total experience, and the food is, I don't necessarily think the food is that much better than what we cook at home.
Right. Well, it's fresher maybe.
But they have access to really, really fantastic ingredients direct from the farmers. So that's a big deal. They are very good cooks. The food is really good, but it's the whole thing. I mean, from the minute you walk in till the minute you leave, everything is it's just such a pleasant place to be. And that's the kind of place I like. Now, of course, Chez Panisse is not a kind of a place that I would go to all the time because it's expensive and it's more of an event.
But what's another place? I mean, I like Chez Panisse, but we haven't been there in a long time. It's
I mean, if I didn't work at Cesars is the kind of place I would go to more often because it's less formal. You can walk in. You don't need reservations.
Cesars is a good place.
We used to my wife and I used to go to Tacubaya a lot and sit at the bar, get something, good drinks.
I mean, you know what? There's so many restaurants in Berkeley.
Yeah.
I mean, if we start, we're gonna meet some people and people are gonna be upset. All right, so let's not do that.
Yeah.
But this is what I like. I like the idea. The idea of this. This is what. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I have to tell you, last Sunday was Sydney's birthday, and we went down to the shore. We went down to a beach.
No, Foreign Cinema is one of my favorite places, man.
You know, I've never eaten there.
Oh yeah, it's really cool. So Foreign Cinema is actually really cool. Well, I know the people, of course, but it is a beautiful place. Oh my God! I mean,
yeah, I've seen it.
It's really and the food is really good. But it's you go there and you look at you can sit outside, watch a movie, and the restaurant inside. I used to go to the bar. I don't care about the movies. Used to have a great time, hang out. It's beautiful. It's really cool. So yeah.
So we went down to the beach. We're about halfway between Pacifica and Half Moon Bay. It was a beautiful day. We had a great time and everything. But we went out to lunch. We went to the Moss Beach Distillery, which is a restaurant that's been there since the 1920s. It hasn't always been called that. It used to be called Frank's Place, and it was a place where a lot of literary types went. But anyway, what was significant about it, and it was good, we had a ton of fried seafood, and we had a really good time. But what was so significant about it, it was the first time we'd been to a restaurant since the pandemic started.
Wow.
Except for a couple, few times here and there getting takeout, but and of course I'm at Cesar a lot, but it was our first time just going to a restaurant and sitting down. Of course, we were outside, we were out on their deck, and everything was still served in takeaway containers, which is actually very handy because when you're done, we had way too much food. There were four of us and a child, and we had way too much food, so we just put the covers back on the food and took it with us. It was very handy, but It was just such a nice experience to be sitting there, order drinks, somebody brings you drinks and food, and it was very civilized.
You know, where I live on Solano, when you go down in Solano, there's a lot of restaurants and they are full of people outside. So just so you guys know, it's really cute. There's tons of people outside. And of course, I'm talking about people who are not afraid, not worried. Okay, and so this area is really cool. There's a lot of people outside. It's really good. There's beautiful weather. So wear your mask, go outside, wash your hand often, and you're good to go.
Yep.
If you're worried, then don't go. But Solano in the bottom, it's amazing. There's people everywhere. It's so cool. Oh my God.
There must be
that crazy thing that people are. It's like insane.
There must be at least a dozen restaurants up and down Solano that have built out into the street.
Well, that's not the thing. They all got together in the bottom, next to the almost San Pablo, and there's a whole area. It's huge.
Oh,
it's really cool. Like I was like, what?
Yeah.
Great, awesome. People are not everybody's scared. That's good.
Too bad we don't have any money.
So, I know exactly. Now it's open. I can't go. I can't.
So I have another question. Well, I don't have the question. Somebody asked this question, a student, and it's kind of an odd question. The student asked, do you eat aspic on a regular basis? Why or why not?
Do I what?
Eat aspic.
Oh.
Isn't that a funny question? And My answer is, well, of course not. Why would I? I mean, aspic is really for decoration. It's a very fancy thing to do. It's
Well, I'm going to tell you something fun about aspic though. I was in Los Angeles, so in Los Angeles I was working in those very fancy restaurants. Fancy. Sometimes they thought they were fancy, but it's like, it was weird. And one of the things they used to do for wedding, and it was so weird to me, is the salmon on aspic.
oh yeah.
For wedding, outside in Los Angeles. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, that thing looks so weird. Like right away, you put it out. It's beautiful, huh? It's like,
Yeah.
and you put it out, and this thing looks like you're not want to touch it. And they used to do those things with that speak, and I was like, why do you do stuff like this? It just looks disgusting, and it is not appetizing. And at some point it smells like salmon on the sun with an aspic.
Yeah.
It smells. And so there's lemons everywhere. There's water. Oh my god.
That's crazy. Yeah, I don't eat aspic ever. I mean, I've eaten it many times, usually in restaurants. But I don't.
We need to tell people what's an aspic, though.
Yeah, what is it? It's what's the name of the substance?
Gelatin.
Gelatin, which comes
it's little gelatin from animal from
the hooves.
Or you can do also vegetarian gelatin like agar.
Yeah.
Agar. Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah.
But it's gelatin made of pork, and it's that gel you see sometimes on pate. That little that gel on the top that protects the food, but not on the sun.
But not in a hot Los Angeles sun. That's crazy.
And all the time,
was very popular, though.
The salmon aspic. I'm like, stop with the salmon. Oh my god.
That was a very popular thing to do, though, is to do salmon and aspic, and then you could put little cut out pieces of vegetables in the aspic to decorate it even more. It's not something I would do because it's way too time consuming, and I'm lazy, and I just couldn't bother. I'd rather just eat the salmon, but I certainly wouldn't do it if I was doing an outdoor wedding. Unless maybe the wedding was in Nome, Alaska in the winter. But yeah. So the answer is no.
No way.
And why not? Why would I?
I've seen something really cool that you can do with aspic, actually. You can do a fruit aspic. That's really cool for kids.
Oh, yeah.
So that's something that's actually fun. It's like a terrine. And you could do agar-agar. So you don't have to use the pork product. You can use agar-agar, which is really good. It's a plant-based binder. I forgot what it is, but it works really well. And you can do that really beautiful terrine of fruits. And you put that aspic in it. And then you serve it in slices. It's very pretty, really pretty.
Well, you can do all kinds of things with gelatin that are fun. We did a dim sum party for someone a few years ago, and my wife made all these fruit desserts, and they were little gelatin desserts, and she did different flavors, so they were all different colors, and they were all in little glass dishes. It was beautiful, and they were delicious. So that's fun.
Right. But no, not really. So we don't do that. It's too complicated, and it doesn't serve the purpose. Right. No.
So another question. We have time for another question. This is an interesting one because it is misunderstood a lot. What is filet mignon?
Oh, man.
And why is it so good? And you maintain that it isn't good.
James, while you start, I'm going to get that file that I told you.
Okay.
To show you the meat cutting.
Well, first of all, what is filet mignon? Filet mignon is the narrower end of the tenderloin, the beef tenderloin. And it's mignon means tender. It means basically means it's a tender fillet. It's a tender piece of meat, and it comes from the upper back of the animal, so it's not weight bearing, and it doesn't do any work. So it doesn't develop those
flavors,
fatty strings and everything that the muscles do, and so consequently, it's extremely tender, but it also doesn't have very much flavor because it doesn't have very much fat. And some people like it for that reason. But most of the time when you get it in a restaurant, and you were saying to me earlier that chefs don't really like to cook it very much because you have to do so much to it to give it any flavor.
There's no interest. It's like it doesn't taste like anything.
I mean, classically it would be wrapped in bacon, or you just make a sauce for it.
Right.
At Cesars, we do a filet mignon. It's sliced up, and there's this beautiful. It's a red wine and beef stock reduction that we put with it, so it's delicious.
Well,
but you're right. The meat by itself is not that tasty. It's more known for its tenderness and how lovely a texture it is.
For the chart. So basically, the filet is on the top. It's the filet mignon is on the top.
Right.
So the top doesn't work at all.
Right.
So there's no flavor.
Yeah.
It's just tender, but no flavor.
And the tenderloin is long, and it's shaped. It's wide at one end, and then it thins down, and it's very thin at the other end. And the thin end is what's called the filet mignon. And then in the middle, if you take those and you cut those into little steaks in the middle, those are what are classically known in restaurants as tornadoes.
Because basically, you have to understand that, the cut in America, that's in the T-bone. That's in your T-bone.
Right.
So we don't have that. In France, we don't do T-bones. We cut the entrecôte. I don't know how you call that other part. So there's a filet.
The entrecôte would be the strip steak.
Which one?
Strip steak, I think, is what they would call it here.
I thought that was a sirloin. No, it's not that.
Because the T-bone has the smaller part is the filet, and then the longer other part is the strip steak. So
that's what I like. I like the other side. That entrecôte.
Yeah. I like to cook T-bone sometimes, because anytime you cook the meat with a bone, it's going to have more flavor. So it's a good thing to do.
And also the T-bone are two meats. That's why I don't like T-bones. It's two different pieces of meat.
Yeah.
They're not to be taken at the same time. I mean, it's just interesting. But anyway, so that doesn't mean it's bad or good. I'm just saying this is how it works. On a T-bone, you fillet it on one side, and the entrecôte, which I forgot the name, is.
Yeah.
So Michael is trying to say something. I'm assuming.
I think he means Bernaise.
Yeah, Béarnaise.
Yeah, Béarnaise sauce. Yeah, it's great with steak.
Yeah,
there's actually a restaurant in Paris called Entrecôte, and they have great steaks there, and they serve a Béarnaise sauce.
Yeah. So the Béarnaise is something that nobody makes anymore. Béarnaise is very complicated to make. You have to make Hollandaise. The Hollandaise is basically, and let me actually write down how you spell it.
Hollandaise is
Chateaubriand. That's the one. Yes, for the Chateaubriand. That's the other part. So the way the Béarnaise is made is basically you make a Hollandaise, but it's not just adding tarragon. You have to make a tarragon vinegar. That's it's like a real Béarnaise is a lot of work. And the Hollandaise, I don't know if you know how to make Hollandaise, but you make your egg yolk with a little bit of clarified butter on a steaming pot, not touching on it, and you hold it.
Yeah.
And then you have to do the vinegar, your tarragon vinegar and your tarragon, and then you get Béarnaise. And the problem with Béarnaise is it doesn't stay. So when you work in a restaurant and you have Béarnaise, you have to keep that sauce alive, because once it breaks, man, oh my God.
Yeah.
So let me check my cookies.
Okay, you go check your cookies.
No, I insist. I really want to check my cookies.
So while we're defining things, someone else asked, what is marmalade and how does it differ from jam and jelly? How do you define all those things?
You're talking about music?
What?
You're talking about music? 5 minutes. Okay, guys, my cookies are 5 minutes away.
I mean, I think everyone knows what marmalade is. It's typically made with orange. It's typically made with bitter orange, the Seville orange, because it has kind of a bitter. I love good English marmalade or Scottish marmalade because it does have that sort of bitterness to it. It's not super sweet.
They use the skin.
Right. They use the peel of the orange, which has a bitter flavor to it.
This is a really healthy part, like extremely healthy. So when I say very healthy, that means it's like it's incredibly healthy.
It's like superfood.
It's a superfood. To me, it's a superfood. So when you eat that, other than the sugar again, that's in the way, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that part of the skin of any citrus is absolutely incredible. There's so many nutrients in there and very high antioxidants, really, really high. And antioxidants don't really go away in your cooking. So just so you understand the concept here. So when you cook stuff with antioxidants, a lot of time the antioxidants they move, they change, they either enhance, they rarely disappear though, which is always to keep in mind, right?
Mm-hmm. So marmalade differs from a jelly because a jelly is essentially made from fruit juice. If it's done properly, it's extracted from cooked fruit and it's strained away, and then you add some kind of gelatin to it, some kind of pectin, and then it solidifies into this paste. But it's basically made from fruit juice, which is why I don't necessarily like jelly as much as jam or marmalade, because jam has more substance to it. It has more. I would love it if you two signed my Cesar book.
No.
We will. We do signings every Wednesday at 1, and it's $50 a signature.
Or 75 for 2 though.
75 for 2, yeah, if you catch us at the same time.
But yeah,
I'd love to sign your Cesar book.
Yeah, of course, Michael.
Bring it by Cesar sometime. I'm always there on Fridays.
I'm there all the time, so if you want to coordinate, we're here. I'm at the kitchen like 7 days a week, clearly.
Yeah.
In Berkeley, I'm there all day long. Try to survive, but whatever.
Literally, the other side of that brick wall behind Olive is Cesar. So
you can hear it.
Yeah.
Can you hear me, James?
Yeah, I can hear you. So how did marmalade come to be? Well, the Greeks were the first ones to cook quince in a way that made it into a paste. They determined that it had a really high pectin content, and so do these bitter oranges. They have a high content of pectin, so it firms up really, really well and really, really fast. Oh, those look good. And in fact, the word marmalade comes from the Portuguese for a word that based on the marelo, which basically means quince.
Oh,
so the original ones, in fact, Henry VIII is supposedly got a gift of a box of marmalade, and it was probably quince paste, which in Spain they call membrillo.
Yes.
But then they started using citrus instead because do come on Friday. I'll be there on Friday, and I'll be happy to sign your book.
Let me show you the
and I'll do it for half price.
And I'll do it for the other half. I'll do it for the other half. Whatever he's not taking, I'll take. So this is quince.
Yeah. It's not a great fruit to eat out of hand particularly, but it's great to cook with. You cook those down and you can do all kinds of stuff with it.
Let's see, Friday. I'll be around. I'll be around.
I'll knock on the wall.
So what time are you going to be there?
When he gets there.
Yeah. What time are you going to be there, Chef? James.
4 to 8.
4 to 8. Okay.
Yeah.
So those cookies are perfect. They taste really good. Ooh, they're hot. We have to wait. Okay, they need to cool now. But they are really pretty.
And they look like almonds.
Huh?
They look like almonds.
Yeah.
But they have pecans on them. Well, so they look like almonds with giving a piggyback ride to a pecan.
People don't know what pecans are. It's good. Yeah, my cookies are really good. Woo! And that's a healthy cookie again. So guys, if you're feeding your kids cookies, which is okay, make sure you get some good stuff because.
Well, and how do you get good stuff? You make it yourself.
Yeah. And
cookies are fun to bake. Right now, when the kids are home, we don't have kids here, but if your kids are at home, it's a great way to occupy their time. They love doing it. They love shaping the cookies.
You do have a lot of kids, though, right? You have all these.
Besides me?
Right. You have a lot of kids at your house, in general.
Well, not these days. Just
Not
one.
these days. Okay.
Just one little granddaughter a couple days a week.
Okay.
But she loves to do stuff, and they all do. When they used to be around all the time before they were all in shutdown, yeah, they love doing that stuff. They loved to bake with their Nona. They call Sydney Nona.
Right.
And she's teaching them all to bake. Danica was 4 years old. She could perfectly break an egg. They're really good at mixing, of course, and they love to bake. They used to make, and then she taught them how to roll out dough. They can both roll out dough.
Yeah.
It's important to teach your kids these skills.
So do you think I should keep some cookies for Michael?
Well,
Friday?
I don't know. If it were me and I had that amount of cookies till Friday, there wouldn't be any left. So
I don't eat sugar, so for me it's not.
Oh, well, then you're okay.
I'm not.
See, I would eat that whole pan of cookies over the next 2-3 days.
Wow.
Now, back when I used to smoke pot, I would eat them all in one sitting, but
in one joint.
Yeah. But I don't smoke pot anymore, so that's not as
right. Well, nobody's perfect.
So another student asked, "What's in ground beef?" Isn't that an Is that a trick question? Do you think?
In ground beef or round beef?
In ground beef? No, ground beef.
I know. So guys, just so you know, we get a lot of random questions, and a lot of times they're jokes. We can tell, but sometimes they're very serious. Some people and one funny thing I've discovered when I've 15 years of teaching. A lot of people ask questions without thinking.
Right.
And when I used to do that, and kids do that a lot, when I used to do that to my dad, he used to answer, "Do you really want to know, or are you just asking?" And it made me think all the time, do I really, is that I'm just blabbing around because I just want to, do I really want to know? And that's, sometimes I'm thinking, do they really want to, is that a real question? So who knows, right? People don't know what flour is or oil. How do you make flour? How do you make oil? And if you've never seen it, how would you know? So I can see, how do you make ground meat? Well,
also, if you eat fast food, there probably is other things in the beef. They probably put a lot of filler in, oats and different things too.
So one way we can answer that question is, what type of beef goes into the burger?
Yeah.
So in the ground meat, and I'm going to tell you something cool, actually. When you go to places, this is the only place I know, of course, here. Mignon or Berkeley Bowl, their ground beef, the cheap stuff, is really good because they are a butcher. So anytime you go to a real butcher, the ground stuff is all the trimmings.
Right.
So it's really good stuff. You don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
But if
don't buy hamburger meat with no fat in it, because you're gonna have a flavorless burger. So, and of course, if you're concerned about what's in your beef and you don't have a good butcher nearby, just buy cuts of beef and grind your own. You can get an attachment to your KitchenAid and grind your own beef, and it'll be super fresh. I get it at the butcher because it's we have good butchers in town, so it's great to get.
So
I don't buy ground beef that much.
Let me finish the detail of what goes in there.
Okay.
So normally what goes in burgers are something called chuck. That's another piece of meat that's pretty tough, and there's not much we can do with it, except when you ground it. And you put chuck, you put sometimes you put shoulder, whatever. And a lot of times there's going to be trimming of other pieces they just trimmed, and then they put the fat after.
Mm-hmm.
So they put 10%, 15%, 20%. I would not go under 15% of fat.
No.
15, 20 is this is what I like. And when you go under that, first of all, there's no fat, there's no flavor, but also you destroy the protein faster. The fat protects. You have to understand that the fat protects your meat. And the more fat is in there, the more protection you get. If the protein is very lean, you're going to attack that protein really hard.
Right. And those cuts of meat that you mentioned are really delicious, but normally if you were going to cook chuck or a shoulder, you'd have to cook it for a long time. You'd have to stew it. But when you
So
grind it, you cut those
right.
those sinews, and then it becomes much more tender, so it cooks more easily, and
So
it's delicious. It makes for the best hamburger.
what else? So for example, now if you want to talk about budget cooking, this is what you do. You cook tough part of meat,
Hmm.
not cheap, tough.
The tougher the meat, the less expensive it is.
And you can get a really healthy meat or organic piece of meat, of beef or chicken, if you get a tough part and you slow cooking.
Hmm.
And it's cooked for 3-4 hours, but you get a really good piece of meat that
Right.
feed a lot of people on a budget, which a lot of people are on a budget. This is what they need to do.
Also, there's more of it on the animal. We were talking about the filet mignon earlier. The filet mignon, there's one on each side of the back, and they're very small. So it's the least part of the animal. So and it's in it's in high demand. So of course they're very expensive. Chuck
Okay.
and shoulder, those things, they're a lot less expensive. So how is it?
Mm. Oh my God. That anise. Wow. All right. It's
So
a
we'll just have to
success.
take your word for it that it's good. But I know it is.
Mm.
I know it is.
Mm. It's like eating a bacon cookie.
Oh, right.
Wow. Oh my God. Okay, I need to keep you a couple, man. I'm not going to eat them.
Well, I'll come
Okay.
by and eat them
When you work next at Cesar?
Friday.
Oh, not before that. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not working anymore this week.
Why?
Um,
Okay.
Didn't want to.
Oh, okay. It's not like, yeah. But Cesar is still opening
Yeah,
a little bit of times, like few hours
yeah.
a day.
We're only closed on Mondays. Otherwise, we're there from 4 to 8 every day. Hey, speaking of
Speaking of hungry, Michael, you can come by anytime.
I have a quick question. Why Berkeley? Why did you end up in Berkeley? A student wants to know.
Well, that's something I'll keep for next week because we don't have time. But I wanted to introduce, we're going to change the format of the show, everyone.
Yes.
We're going to do half an hour.
We're going
and
to
half
switch
an hour.
sides. I'm going to be on that side and he's going to be on this side.
So we're going to go left and right. And
Yeah.
we're going to do 30 minutes and 30 minutes. And one of the segment is going to be questions and guests. And the other segment is going to be just cooking. So we're going to split those clearly because some people, they just want the cooking part, which is fine. And some people, they don't want to hear us about our questions.
What?
Oh, I'm telling you. So
Tell me it's not so.
no, but it's true. It's a long show, 1 hour. You know, not everybody has 1 hour to. But you guys, so you know, it's all on YouTube, on Kitchen on Fire YouTube. All the shows are archived. We're gonna try to organize them with James. We're trying to put the description in the show so you don't get lost because there's a lot of shows, and we're working on that so you can access different parts easily. And then we're gonna split them in half an hour. Starting next week, Chef. Yeah.
Starting next week, and all these archive shows in YouTube will probably end up in the Television Hall of Fame someday, I'm sure, don't you think?
In the bottom floor, yeah.
Yeah. The basement, the bargain basement section.
The real archives.
Yeah.
Cool.
But it'll be fun, and we're going to have a guest next week. I'm not certain who it's going to be, but we're going to have one.
Pick me.
All right, I'll be the guest.
And if I cannot connect, you just get your mirror, okay?
And next week we'll talk about what brought us to Berkeley.
Yep.
And
how we started. Also, there's that question you wanted to ask me today.
Yeah, a lot of students asked, how did you start in the business? How did you get into cooking? How did you get into the restaurant business? And
I started by pounding and crying and kicking.
Yeah.
Same thing when I was born.
So,
all right, so we are done
we will be back next week. That's the only thing we can promise. And we look forward to it. We look forward to seeing
Yep.
you all. Everybody
Thank you,
stay
guys.
safe. Don't be afraid of your kitchens,
Yeah.
and join us
And don't-
next week.
And don't be afraid of my kitchen.